I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big.
The year was 2017 when I embarked on what was to be one of the most disappointing gaming odysseys of my life. Mass Effect Andromeda on S4, for this elderly Arctic lupine known as KibaSnowpaw. This disappointment was not just a gaming letdown, but a monumental catastrophe, with the fiery wreckage of my expectations strewn across the icy tundra of my expectations strewn across the icy tundra of my once hopeful heart. Armed with decades of gaming experience, fueled by anime, movies, manga, and indie projects from Kickstarter, Patreon, and Bandcamp, I prided myself on being a supporter of the gaming world. But the one universe that could have satisfied my gaming appetite, my geeky interests, and my dedication to the fantastic realm of digital entertainment fell flat on its face. Enter Mass Effect Andromeda Deluxe Edition. My wolfish paws trembled with anticipation as I loaded up the game. I braced myself for the excitement, the thrill of discovery, and the brilliant story, telling that the original trilogy had set the bar for. But, alas, what I found was a shell of a game, a parody of its predecessor, wrapped in a blanket of mediocrity. Oh, the humanity. Or should I say, the alienity. The game that was supposed to be the magnum opus of the Mass Effect series, a science fiction odyssey set in an unknown galaxy, was, in fact, a veritable black hole of disappointment. It wasn't so much a game as it was a never-ending cosmic joke, filled with shallow characters, underwhelming narratives, and a UI that seemed more suitable for a toddler's tablet game. The company behind this affront to my senses was none other than BioWare Montreal, a team known for their exemplary work on Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. Yet somehow the transition from multiplayer proved too daunting. Instead of building on the foundations laid by the original trilogy, they provided a gameplay experience that felt more like trudging through the slush of an alien tundra than exploring a new frontier. For a moment, let's look at the few redeeming features. The combat, I concede, was more dynamic than in previous iterations, with a fluidity and range of choices that made battles more engaging. The weaponry felt solid, and the introduction of jump jets added a welcome dose of adrenaline to the mix. Even the vehicles, a glaring issue in the original trilogy, were significantly improved, culminating in the sleek Nomad, which handled like a dream. But a game cannot stand on combat alone. This is where Andromeda went to the gallows. The characters were mere shadows of their predecessors. They lacked depth, complexity, and growth. The Krogan was little more than a savage brute. The Asari was a one-note scholar, and don't even get me started on the human characters. Sam, the AI, was like a fly buzzing in your ear that just wouldn't stop. The narrative failed to elicit any emotional responses, and the quests felt like chores rather than immersive experiences. The dialogue was awkward and forced, stripping the game of any semblance of seriousness or urgency. The game was a bitter pill to swallow, especially for a frosty canine like myself. The animation was far from the fluid, cinematic spectacle it should have been, giving characters a stilted, lifeless quality. Resource scavenging was tedious and unfulfilling, and the vast open world was empty and void of excitement. And the scan mechanic was an unending, relentless torment, akin to howling into the void and hearing nothing but your own echoes. The final nail in the coffin was the ridiculous facial animations. They were so absurd that I have found myself laughing out loud, which is more emotion than I experienced during any part of the story. The only saving grace was the occasional successful joke and some enjoyable combat sequences. But, like a blizzard in summer, they were fleeting and far between. In conclusion, dear reader, I cannot recommend Mass Effect Andromeda. If you value your time, your money, and your sanity, avoid it like a rabid, frothing varan. Save yourself from the icy clutches of disappointment, and don't be lulled into the false promises of adventure and excitement. As I have learned through the long, lonely nights on my frosty world, not all that glitters in the cosmos is gold. Sometimes it's just the cold, cruel sparkle of mediocrity. From the icy world of a lone, 36-years-old gaming wolf, signing off. Andromeda ain't it to gaming fail, gaming wolf.